for Buford in the state championship game against Walton. Mara Shepard, Layla Washington, Izzy Skinner, and Macy Stansel have obviously been constant all year long. And Craig, they've had a lot of shutouts. So the defense for them was really obviously monumental in helping them beat West Forsyth to get to this point. And Walton is obviously back in familiar territory, looking to clinch their first state championship, I believe, since 1983.
Yep. One thing real quick. So Walton, they're going to play for 5 state championships the next week. That is boys and girls tennis, girls soccer, and then girls lacrosse and baseball. So it's a big matchup. I think with Buford, though, their win over West Forsyth, I felt like West Forsyth probably had the best defense on the girls' side of soccer this year. Probably gave up like 0.2 goals per game this year, maybe.
Literally.
And so for Buford to get that 1 goal in that West Forsyth game, which was just an absolute defensive battle, it took a very special play. The cross, the execution, the header. Walton's going to be a little bit of a different opponent. They aren't as talented as West Forsyth defensively. They have given up more goals, but I feel like last year Walton came up just short. They lost in penalty kicks. They're back there in the state championship. They looked phenomenal against Lambert in the last round, 3-1 victory. Buford, it's going to be a very tough opponent, but it would have been tough either way if West Forsyth would have won.
100%. And correction, that was since 1983 for Walton winning a state championship. All right, let's go to 4A now, a really intriguing matchup. Obviously, very, very good programs. Starting on the boys, Marist versus Westminster. The girls are obviously in this as well. The boys are trying for its 3rd title after winning in 2006 and 2009. They're 14-0 and 8-0 in the region this season. Get this correct, 11 of their 14 victories have been shutouts. So really good defensive team for Marist. Westminster 16-6, led by Will Stewart, who has 13 goals and 3 assists.
Yeah, I think these matchups, it's all just about how you're going to handle the pressure. I expect both teams to play smart soccer, to play defensively, not take too many chances, but then once it's probably a tie game, 0-0 in that second half, someone's going to have to be more aggressive. To me, Westminster, their latest win was very impressive, beating Dalton the way they did in penalty kicks. Dalton's probably been the top soccer program on the boys' side the last decade. That was a huge win for them. They'll obviously give them a ton of confidence, and then this is going to have a big rivalry feel. Will be an outstanding atmosphere. Tons of fans from both teams supporting them. Should be very excited.
For sure. All right, now let's go to girls. Marist versus Blessed Trinity. Blessed Trinity has 6 titles in their storied program's history: 2004, 2006, 2007, 2008, and 2011. Also in 2021. 18-1 in 2025. They're led by Amelia Comics, who has 15 goals, and true freshman Julie Maholich, who has 13 goals as a true freshman. Marist is 17-3 this season, but obviously going to be tough. Some really good goal scorers for BT.
Yep, Marist has been in that state title, it seems like every single year. BT having a great run, another big-time rivalry matchup, and this one will mean a lot to both teams. Looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. All right, let's go to the next one, Class A Division II. Some really good matchups here. 2 teams again, Lake Oconee Academy and both the boys and girls. We'll start with the boys. Atkinson County going against them. Lake Oconee Academy, though, is 16-3. Won a region title this year. They're led by Palmer Larkin, who has 34 goals and 5 assists this year. He's been a terror. But one of their best playmakers on the team, Leonardo Eonastra, has 17 goals and 13 assists. They also have Nick Jaranowski, who has 18 goals and 9 assists. And then, obviously, on the other side, Atkinson County 17-4, led by Rodrigo Trejo Galazara, Carlos Otero, and Alex Vega. Galazara has 27 goals and 11 assists. Otero has 15 goals and 11 assists. And crazy part, Craig, they were 0-2 to start the year.
Yep, and both these teams will be looking for the first ever state title. I think it's also interesting. They both had to go on the road in the semifinals. Both handled it, got the big victories, and now they have a chance to make history.
For sure. All right, now let's go to the girls and talk about that one really quick. Atlantic Classical Academy versus Lake Oconee Academy. They won its 2nd title, first coming in 2021. So they've been here, done that for Atlanta Classical, has some really good experience. Lake Oconee Academy is trying to win its first state championship. The girls for Atlanta Classical are led by Sally Berry, Leighton Maynard, and Reese Perkins. Berry has 21 goals and 6 assists this season. Maynard has 10 goals and 6 assists, and Atlanta Classical is 13-5. Lake Oconee Academy is 12-6, and they've won 4 consecutive games. You may be surprised maybe by the win-loss, but they've been very competitive and rattled off, obviously, 4 consecutive to get to this point.
Yeah, Lake Oconee Academy, I feel like, is the more established soccer program, but this is a big opportunity for Atlanta Classical, obviously, and this will be probably a rivalry that will be set this year and continue next year in these same classifications.
And then real quick, Craig, obviously talk about Walton having the chance to win 5, over the next past week. But just how cool is it? I don't know if you had a chance to experience it, but just maybe for a program winning in multiple sports, like your boys soccer team and girls soccer team being in, your boys basketball team, girls basketball team being in, your girls tennis and boys tennis being in. Just how cool is that to win that for a program, you think?
It's amazing. I'll never forget it. My senior year, Walton was playing Harrison in the boys soccer state finals. It was at Harrison. Harrison was, I think, favored. They're the #1 team. That's why they had the home field. We got that victory. I mean, it was just so exciting to be at a state championship and see your school win it. That doesn't happen a lot. So hopefully the Walton Raiders, especially the seniors, will be there supporting them, seeing if they can cheer on their classmates and get them a state title. They have 5 opportunities in this next week.
100%. And obviously, guys, just remember 6A is going to be at McEachern. So if you want to go check out some great soccer, obviously head over there. The private, obviously, will be at Duluth High School, so you can check those out as well. And then Division II will be at Mercer in Macon. So if you guys want to go see that action, remember, those are the 3 locations. All right, coming up after the break, we'll have a GHSA recap of all the action so far. So we'll break that down on the other side of the break.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all. The advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches. Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting 6 figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back. We're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of the battle? Will you still train like a champion in pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrician. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
All right, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. Najee Wilkins along with Craig Sager. Remember, catch the show, obviously, on all the streaming platforms and on Score Atlanta YouTube page after we're done. All right, guys, so we're going to talk about GHSA soccer, what happened, obviously, over the past few days. So we'll go with 3A, obviously some major results there. Oconee County, Craig, they three-peated, a phenomenal win for them. Defensive game, 1-0 victory, won the 3rd straight in overall championship after outlasting Jefferson 1-0 in the matchup. Freshman forward Maddie Cass, she scored the game winner after a scoreless regulation. Her overtime came just 50 seconds into the period to put Oconee County on top. Via quote, "This was a great game between 2 great teams. It was back and forth. Jefferson gave us everything they had." Head coach Judson Hamby told Jeff Gamble, "They knew us well and they took some of our players and strategies out. They're out with their game plan. But wow, what heart and what fight our team had, both individually and as a group. This was a proper championship game to end the year." Coney moved past Johnson Gainesville 4-1, Harlem 8-0, Sandy Creek 9-1, and Whitewater 3-1 in the semis.
Yeah, very impressive. You mentioned the freshman Maddie Cass. So Oconee County and Jefferson obviously very familiar with each other. I feel like that's one of the reasons Jefferson has been on the rise also, having to challenge the team that's won now 3 straight state titles. But for a freshman to come up in that moment, deliver the game-winning goal in overtime, absolutely huge for her career moving forward, and another state title for Oconee County.
And something she's never going to forget.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's very impressive, and obviously it's tough to beat the same team twice. It's such a great rivalry, so that makes it mean even more.
Yes, sir. All right, Craig, what other result you got?
Well, also in Class 3 on the boys' side, Johnson Gainesville, they have such a tremendous soccer program, one of the best teams in the state regardless of class. They took down Northwest Whitfield 1-0. That was the 4th championship for Johnson Gainesville, and they got the goal from Daniel Trujillo at the 6:04 mark of the second period, and that proved to be decisive in the victory. They previously won state titles in 2018, 2022. That was in Class 5A, and then in 2023, they won in Class 4A before the reclassification. They defeated Groves 5-0, Calhoun 2-1, Chestatee 3-1, and Oconee County 2-0 also in the playoffs this year. So another state title for Johnson Gainesville.
There you have it. All right, guys, let's go obviously down, a couple classifications down to obviously the private classification. Lovett and Greater Atlanta Christian faced off. Lovett ended up winning 1-0. Mary Camp Newton scored what would become the game-winning goal at the 5:27 mark of the first half to lead defending champion Lovett to the program's 7th state title in Class 3A or Class A through 3A private against GAC. Lovett previously won championships in 01, 2005, 2016, 2021, 2022, and last season. GAC had previously won 4 championships in 2012, 2014, 2025, and 2023 in Class 5A before being reclassed. Lovett moved past Kingsridge 10-0, Fellowship Christian 7-0, Wesleyan 8-1, and Holy Innocent 6-0 in the semifinals.
Yep, and on the boys' side, we had Atlanta International win their 4th state title. Val Christensen scored the game-winning goal in this 1-0 victory over Whitfield Academy. There was 39:03 on the clock in the first half, and that gave them the victory. Atlanta International had a bye in the first round of the playoffs, then defeated Landmark Christian 4-1, Mount Vernon 4-0, and then Paideia 1-0 in the semifinals. Whitfield had previously won a state title in 2017 and was attempting to win their 2nd all-time.
There you have it, guys. So those are some of obviously the results. Craig, what's a matchup maybe that stood out the most to you? Obviously, we had the Oconee County winning that thriller, but maybe just the one so far that have really caught your eye.
Well, there were some other ones, I think, that would have been Tuesday. I thought the battle between Armucci and Thomasville. Thomasville has been one of the more successful South Georgia teams to win a soccer state title, but Armucci's a team that probably wasn't on many people's radar. This is Class A Division I. It's a big deal for them to get the state title this year, and in this game, we saw a lot of 1-0 victories. This was one of the more high-scoring ones that kind of got the state championship started. With this schedule, I thought it was a very exciting finish.
100%. And obviously, the big one coming up, Buford and Walton. We talked about that a little bit earlier. But, Craig, as we continue to see soccer kind of proliferate and get obviously bigger and bigger around the country, just what's your thoughts with the World Cup obviously coming up next year? We know we'll have some host sites here in obviously the great state of Georgia, in Atlanta. Just what's your thoughts of just seeing the growth and development of the sport?
Yeah, it's huge. And obviously, the way the state's been successful in soccer, the private schools have been phenomenal. We see what the championship matchups remaining look like. You got BT, Marist, a lot of the same teams have won 7, 8 state titles. But with the reclassification, we're seeing a lot more new programs emerge. I feel like Lake Oconee Academy is a team putting both the boys and girls in the state championship. They clearly have established soccer as a premier sport, and with the World Cup, these are kids that they're training in their club teams now. They have a very, fundamental foundation with the sport of soccer, but then they're able to kind of mesh seamlessly with their high school teams, maybe play a different role. I mean, on their club team, they might not be the best player, but when it comes to their varsity team, they've got to be on the attack. They got to play striker. They might be a midfielder for their club team. So to me, it's like the versatility has been impressive, and just the skills of some of these players with the ball, just their understanding of the game.
I think to what you brought up earlier, Craig, an incredible part of it has really just been the new teams that emerge. Especially as you talked about Lake Oconee Academy. I want to throw Grayson out. Grayson's always been a pretty good program in the playoffs, but getting to this point to compete for obviously a state championship is huge for them and what they're trying to build. And Coach John Heck being obviously so young and taking over the position, just to be, I think, less than a year, Craig, already in this position to capture a state championship, just says a lot about just if you can get it going, you can have the right fundamentals to what you kind of alluded to, and you have the right foundation in front, any team can emerge. And I mean, Buford is another one, like really good team, obviously, across all their sports, but to be in this position to knock off, really, if we're saying it, Craig, a behemoth Goliath in West Forsyth. Remember, they have won 3 of the past 4 state championships, and we know how great their head coach is, Coach Galt. We know how good of the program is at the feeder level, right? We know about their star players, Marley Raymond, Burke Holst, all those girls just being phenomenal, obviously, on the pitch, to be able to beat them in a defensive game at their own game, because remember, you said only 11 goals they've given up this year. That says a lot just about the growth of the sport and how any given day somebody can come out on top.
For sure. Yeah, that Buford result really impressed me. I felt like West Forsyth had one of the best teams we've seen it to come through the state, especially what they did last year, returning all that core. What you mentioned about Grayson having success this year with the first-year head coach, they obviously had the athleticism, but what's been so impressive, he was probably his evaluation on how he's gotten them to play together this year. He was saying how at first they had like a slow start to the season, but I don't know if they even understood game one, just how special this team had a chance to be. And there's a big opportunity for Grayson. Obviously, they've won state titles in all these other sports, but to get it done in the highest classification like they have this year with a first-year head coach, it shows, yeah, he's done a phenomenal job, but these kids also understand how the game is played, being able to come together like this in just 1 year.
And think about it too, Craig, the ability to want to be coached, because, the kids are like, oh, I'm doing it this way, I'm used to it, but the ability to say, hey, this is a new coach at the helm. I want to learn from him. I want to see the different tactical strategies that he has, the different schemes that he's going to devise up. And, hey, this will help my game down the line. And he talked about all the D1 talent that they have, but sometimes it takes you looking from within to say, okay, hey, this is my coach now. How can I get better and be a team player, even though I probably have been the star player, but being a team player can help us really accomplish our goals.
Yeah, and obviously buying into the tough things too, playing great defense. And
yes.
I guess that's something that just you walk through the hallways at Grayson. If you don't play defense, you are not a Ram.
Yeah, you're not going to play. I know we got about a minute left. Real quick, I know just switching gears, I just wanted to get your just quick take on just Lowndes, obviously, and I know we talked about the Walton Championship, but I want to get your thoughts on just, does that speak more so to kind of just the parity here in the state? Because you just said it. They've continued to do it in their quest for a three-peat, right? Parkview, highly ranked team. Lowndes does it again, right? Etowah, nationally ranked team, highly ranked. They do it again. So do you think that just talks to the parity of the state, despite having all these national teams that we have, that anybody can win?
Yeah, for sure. And I really think that Lowndes was probably given like a 15% chance to win that series. If you were to honestly ask people, and it's no disrespect to them, but I mean, this Etowah team was dominant, and to beat them in a series like that, the way they did, just sweep them, it was a kind of a stunning result, but this sets them up to really do something special, win that third straight state title, and talked about it yesterday. They are carrying the torch for pretty much all of South Georgia when they're going up year after year, just getting through 4 rounds of just Metro Atlanta powerhouse after Metro Atlanta powerhouse. Just it's so impressive what they've been able to do, and I mean it's going to be a great series. They obviously don't want to come up short to Walton, but will be a big test. But that was just a huge result for sure with the parity.
100%. All right, guys, coming up after the break, we will talk a little bit about flag football, and obviously the Arthur M. Blaine Foundation doing it yet again, helping our great sport, or helping our great state with flag football. All right, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. It's now time to talk just a little bit about the new teams that have emerged now in flag football. Again, we'll have a new division. We've been covering this obviously all spring long, but obviously shout out to the Arthur M. Blake Foundation for what they've been able to do in order to kind of just help our state with this sport and obviously helping it continue to grow. It's a great article on AtlantaFalcons.com. You guys can obviously go check it out there. A lot of great things, but I do want to bring up just the legislation that was important in this. I believe it was April. Can't say the year for certain, but the Georgia House of Representatives unanimously passed a H.R. 347 bill, a bipartisan resolution sponsored by Representative Brent Cox, Representative Rick Jaspers, Representative Leah Glaze, Representative Demetrius Douglas, Representative Chaz Cannon, Representative Chuck Efferstration, and Representative Dewey McClain, with support from Speaker John Burns urging all Georgia high schools to establish flag football programs for girls. The resolution was the first piece of legislation to be passed supporting the growth of girls flag football in the country.
Yeah, and this is why it's important. I mean, having a 100% participation, it sets an example for the rest of the states, and then that will help build flag football as a potential Olympic sport, and obviously at the college level, where I feel like that's the next step of this thing, where it really is going to take off. The NIL, just who's going to be that first superstar in flag football. I think that's going to be very interesting to see. And then what's also intriguing about all these new teams, this is a fall sport, so they really have to hit the ground running. They have the program now. They have pretty much one summer to get out there, and then we've seen new teams be able to have a lot of success, so they've got to really work their hallways, find girls to come out. Obviously, we'll be playing other sports, but you have an opportunity to be successful year one, so I think that's what's exciting, and they don't have too much time to hit the ground.
For sure. And obviously, let's pull up that graphic, just the 45 new teams. Obviously, Alcovey, you're going to have, obviously, Appleton County, Campbell, Cedar Grove, Cedartown, Cherokee, Cook, Crisp County, Dawson County, Drew Charter, Early County, East Forsyth, East Side, Elbert County, Gainesville, Gilmer County, Habersham Central, Heard County, Irwin County, Johnson Ferry Christian Academy, Johnson High School. You're going to have Landmark Christian, Lovett, Manchester High School, Midtown, Mitchell County, Monroe, Montgomery County, Mount Zion, Ringo, Rockmart, Rome, Stevenson High School, Stevens County, Stewart County, Tatnall County, Thrive Christian Academy, Thomasville, Turner County, Twiggs County, Washington Wilkes, Weber, West Hall, Woodward Academy, and Worth County High School.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of familiar teams, some that have probably been wanting to get a program the last few years, but because of the grant program in this really, I wouldn't say aggressive, but earnest approach this year to really add as many as possible. Like this is the time. We've expanded to 4 divisions now. Probably wouldn't have worked if it was only 2. The regions would be too big, but because it's expanded, this is an opportunity to get these new teams in. And as you see from that list, that's all over the state, every corner. South Georgia teams, private schools, Class A Division II schools, Montgomery County, who's been outstanding in track and field. They'll have a lot of speed. And then once you build this team, it'll be interesting to see kind of the style of play with some of these teams. You're going to have to fit it with the athletes you have. We've seen some schools like Lithia Springs, I felt like they were one of the better teams at running the football. Other teams like to be more pass-oriented, but it's going to depend on what type of athletes are more dominant at your school. I feel like if you're a school that has a lot of track athletes, a lot of basketball talent, you're going to have a different type of athlete to build this team around.
100%. It's going to be fun to watch. And I think what you brought up a lot, Craig, is just seeing and just kind of the versatility that teams have and just the offensive creativity in the play calling. I think it's going to be fun to watch as seasons go, because more teams are going to figure out what you're doing. Do you have something that you can go to throw a team off your scent a little bit, where you have different route combinations, different plays that can kind of throw people off? But Craig, I want to get your take really quick on just Brookwood, obviously the football team, just in general this season. They're going to open up, I believe, against Hoko, obviously another great team. Just what is your thoughts on them this season, just from what you've heard or seen?
They're a team that I feel like they don't have a ton of like 4-star, 5-star guys. They have Braden Tyson, but you're starting to see some of these 3-star guys and guys blowing up in the secondary. So I feel like they have more more star power than they have in the last few years. I feel like some of the names are just starting to get out there, but that's to me what Brookwood maybe has been missing this year. They haven't been as talented as a team like Grayson or some of these other Gwinnett County teams, but this year it seems like they're starting to get that star power back.
And I know we talked about obviously underrated teams, and that was one of them I had on there. Probably not going to get a lot of buzz around them in terms of 6A. It'll be obviously the Graysons, the Douglas counties of the world. Down south probably looking at, potentially Lowndes or Valdosta making some noise. But I think Brookwood will be an interesting team to watch, kind of my sleeper too. Really, really good secondary. You talked about it, Craig. Julian Elsie is one. I think probably when it's said and done will be a 4-star 2027 class. Chris Brunson's another one that's really good, that's blowing up at the cornerback spot. They got guys all over the field that can play at a high level. Zayden Walters on the offensive line, really big up front, some good beef there. The quarterback will be obviously new, but then I think the key, though, is that they're going to be able to keep Tyson healthy, Craig. Obviously, he was healthy last year, 2,000-yard season. But this year, Craig, it feels like they're not going to have to ask him to do that unless he wants to. With the running back depth they have, with Daron Gross, and they obviously have Bryce Green in there, they have so many guys they can get the ball to where it doesn't really impede him or make them have to overuse Braden.
Yeah, and we know he's unstoppable when he's running the football.
100%.
Unstoppable.
Yes, he is. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's show. But we'll see you same place, same time tomorrow, right here on the Peachtree Sports Network.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off. Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all. The advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches. Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Are you interested in becoming a deputy or a jailer? The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is hiring and looking for individuals passionate about protecting and serving their community. If you are 18 years or older, join our team by visiting gogcso.com for more information. Gwinnett County, together we can make a difference.